Stories are meant to be told, and no one can tell your story like you would. But many times we are so scared, we are afraid of telling our stories. And that is why I have come up with a platform where you can share your story. I want to host you, and on this show, you are going to share your true life story. And you don't know what that will do to someone else listening. And one thing I know about sharing your story is not just that you're relieved, but you also have people praying with you, partnering with you, and trying to help you in ways that they can. Don't be scared. Some people will mock, some people will be blessed, some people will be inspired, and you will be freed. Thank you for joining us. This is True Life Stories with Moses Nyiku. And today, I'm here with a very special person, Mr. Jerome Wuam. And he's a friend. I've known him for about 6 years. He's a father. He's a husband. A wonderful father and a great husband. When I came into Makurdi, I was preaching the gospel on Radio Benue. I had a program there that was titled Bringing the Gospel. And Mr. Jerome was the producer. And ever since then, we've been in touch. He's a dear friend of mine. And this time, he's here with us to share his true life story. I believe that stories are meant to be told, and no one will tell your story the way you would. So let's hear him, and I believe there are lessons that you will learn from his story. There are things that will challenge you, things that will bless you. I believe there are things you could relate to as well. So you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I would like for us to begin from the beginning.
Okay.
And I want to get your background and your early life. What was it like? What was the foundation that shaped you? Give us that early background,
Well, that's a broad request. I wish I could zero in to specifics, but I was born sometimes in 1972, 14th January, the year 1972.
So you're like 50-something years now?
I'm 54. I'll be 55 in 2027, 14th January.
I think you look 40 or so.
The Lord renew my youth like the eagles.
Oh, I see. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was told I was born in Aba, old Imo in present-day Abia State, Nigeria, shortly after the Civil War.
Yeah.
My father was an officer of the Nigerian Army, fought in the Civil War. So after the Civil War, at this time, he was serving in Aba when I was born. But I was only told that. But I actually discovered myself first somewhere in the early 1970s, maybe sometimes 75, 76, in Zaria. Then my father was serving with the Nigerian Army. There was a Nigerian Army base in Zaria.
Yeah.
And so we lived there. And I was attending primary school there. So that was how I came to really know that this is Jerome. So with a military background, I went mostly to Army children's schools. My father was always being posted. The Army, you hardly stay in a place for more than 3-4 years, you posted. So we were severally in Lagos. We were in Oyo, in Ibadan.
Yeah.
Went back to Lagos, then to Enugu, where eventually I lost him. Somewhere, sometimes in 1982. And we now have to leave and settle in Boko. So we left, moving from state to state to settle with my mom in Boko. In Boko, I attended primary school. I completed my primary school in Boko and left for Nigerian Military School, Zaria. The military authorities felt I should be given a chance to continue in my father's footsteps. So I attended Nigerian Military School, Zaria, and graduated somewhere 19...
Was it on scholarship?
No, Nigerian Military School, Zaria, at the time I attended it, it was free. for everybody. Once you got admitted, the army even paid you. They paid you monthly salary. They fed us 3 times a day. They kitted us. They gave us uniforms, gave us boots.
Wow.
So it was free. All you did was to just present yourself.
As a living sacrifice. Holy and acceptable unto the Nigerian army.
Yeah, so after finishing military school, I was posted to while at military school. Before passing out, months to go, military school, you are trained to pass WAEC, and you are also trained to qualify to be a soldier. So it was a dual training. We had military training days, we had academic days. So at the end of the day, you write your school cert, you pass, and before graduation, you are asked, you want to continue with the military or you want to go back as a civilian. So those who agree to continue with the military, you'll be asked to choose a corps. The military has different corps. We have signals, we have intelligence, we have armor, we have artillery, we have medical corps, and engineer. So I chose to go to the armor corps. So I was given a military army number and posted to resume at 3D headquarters in Jos.
Wow.
So after 2-3 weeks break, after passing out from military school, in a colorful parade, I had to report at 3 Armor Division in Jos.
As
a private.
Private.
As a private, yes. I was trained as a boy soldier. So once you pass out, you are now, you become a private. While the recruits trained for 6 months in Depot NA, Depot Nigerian Army, the military school trained for 5-6 years.
Yes.
So what the recruits go through in 6 months, we go through it over a longer period.
I see.
So when you finish, you've gotten your school cert, you've also gotten your military training certification, you are good to go become a soldier. So I went to begin my military work at 3D in Jos. And then it was brief. I didn't continue.
Why?
Well, I didn't continue because I would say childishness and lack of a good mentorship. What happened was when we finished from military school, my results came out and I didn't make maths. So I had 4 papers. And so with that, you couldn't go to university because you must have 5 credits with maths and English.
But you could, if your papers were good, you could be in the army and still
the army
go to the university.
You apply for sponsorship and the army releases you to go to university, and in some cases even give you a scholarship. And where there's no scholarship, you depend on your salary and any other support you get from anywhere. During holidays, you come back to base, and then when you finish, you could present your degree for consideration to be commissioned into the officer cadre. So because I didn't get my 5 papers, sometimes childishness, it happens to people differently. So it really took a big toll on me, really. So when I left, when I didn't get the 5 papers, I was demoralized.
I can imagine.
I was very demoralized. I felt bad. And my mates whom we had finished, some got their 5 papers, some had written the entrance examination into the NDA. So while in the unit at 3 Armor Division, I was there with some of my military school colleagues who we came together. And some got admission to go to NDA, and they were leaving to go and report to NDA. So I looked at myself, I said, wow, so what becomes of me? I said, these guys will go to NDA and become officers. Even if I come to NDA after them, they will be my seniors. So I'll be saluting my mates. I couldn't stomach that. I was very naive about life.
Yes.
I was very naive about life. And no strong mentor figure, so that could really talk me into really listening and, making sense
Talk
out of the
sense
whole
into
thing.
you.
So I quickly met my immediate boss, who was the chief clerk at the 3rd Armored Division, one WO1 Thomas Prekebena. He was from Rivers. He was the divisional chief clerk of the 3rd Armored Division at that time. The warrant officer class 1. I told him I want to leave the army. I want to resign. He said, "What am I talking about?" He said, "No, that wasn't going to be allowed. That the army has spent so much in training me, and I wouldn't. They wouldn't allow me go and be willing to, in the hands of enemies of the state. So I wasn't going to be allowed." Well, to cut a long story short, after back and forth, I had to leave the army.
They allowed you?
Yes, I had to leave the army, and I went and did a diploma in mass communication, after which I was able to get a degree program. I did this degree program, graduated, went to serve in Bayelsa State, Yenogua. I was in Yenogua, did my service in Yenogua. And then shortly after I finished my diploma, while waiting for a degree program, I had the opportunity to work as a conductor in the transport company. There was this transport company.
Just so you left the army to come go to school, and then after that,
After the diploma.
after the diploma, to now start working as a conductor.
As a conductor, yes.
How were you feeling then?
Well, I felt I was getting experience. I was making money.
You had not started regretting yet.
I think at the point I started regretting was when I realized that life wasn't the way I was naively thinking. That life can be up and down. Your juniors today can be your commanders tomorrow.
Yeah.
People you were in charge of today, or that were in charge of you today, you could become in charge of them tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's not always, So at this point, I really began to say, "Oh, I think I really made a mistake." But I couldn't turn back the hand of the clock, because if I had continued with the army, I would have gone to do my degree. After my degree, I would have applied for commission. The army often, commissions qualified people who have improved themselves from among their ranks, from among the other ranks. So I would have applied, and as a military school trained, we're always given favorable consideration during these exercises. So perhaps I would have been, even though not at the highest rank I should have been if I had gone straight to ND, but I would have been an officer, and still in the barracks. But I thank God that wasn't my destiny. That wasn't my destiny. When I look back, I just say that even in the mistakes, I think God was still
working
somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I want to take you a little bit backward. I want you to tell us how your childhood was like. Growing up in a military home. How was it like?
Yeah, growing in a military home, my dad was a disciplinarian. He was a no-nonsense guy, but very loving, very caring. But he made sure we were straight.
Yeah.
Every day you wake up, you eat, you go to school, you come back from school, just like any other normal
kid
out there. We had friends. Some were not military children. In the military life, sometimes you are posted to a place where you are not resident in the barracks. So sometimes we are resident in the military cantonment. Then your immediate friends will be children of fellow soldiers or officers. In some instances, you are resident maybe in GRA. At this time, your friends will be children of civilians. So it was a mixture of both military at some point and civilian at some point. Yeah.
Wow. So Let's look at some key challenges that you face. We all face challenges. So, what are some key challenges that you face that made you who you are today?
Key challenges. Well, I don't think there's. I miss my dad.
Yeah, I know.
I miss my dad. I think that's the common and outstanding
Yes, I
factor
can
because
imagine that.
he loved me. I think I was his favorite child, and he was loud about it, and everybody
Okay.
too. In fact, I was his replica.
Were you the last
No,
child?
I was the second.
Okay, how many children?
He had four of us, so I was the
Four.
second. We had three boys. First were three boys, the last a girl. Then I was the second, and the fact that I was his favorite wasn't really something that needed the research. It was so obvious, and I was his carbon copy. You know, even while
I've seen his picture. I think you posted his picture.
okay, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
on
one time
Facebook.
you posted his picture on Facebook,
yeah.
and it's true. You look so much like him.
Yes, yeah. So growing up without him really, I missed a lot. He's well, so because of his absence, I had to go through the road I went through. If he was alive, I would probably have gone through another route. So growing without him, without a fatherly, strong figure
Yes.
to call you to order, you had to make avoidable mistakes. Some I'm still recovering from up to today. So
What are some of those mistakes that you're still recovering from?
yeah, like
Because I think you made those mistakes maybe when you were younger. So I think you're trying to tell us that there are some mistakes that it takes you a long time. So what are some of those
no,
mistakes? that you're recovering?
particularly like you asked me whether I left the army. I was refused resignation, so I had to walk away. So I walked away. And when I look back, I said no,
Wow.
I wouldn't have walked away.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have walked away.
It's like they needed you.
Well,
They wanted you at least. That's why
it wasn't about me. It wasn't about me as a person.
Okay.
But it was a principle. The army, to train a soldier, it's expensive. It's expensive training. So the federal government spends a lot of money in training a soldier. Spending on ammunition, spending on kitting, the expendable consumables to train a soldier is a lot. So you train a soldier, he acquires capacity and abilities, and then he wants to walk away. To go where with all
that you've given
the know-how. So it didn't make sense. So it wasn't just about me. Any other person too would have been refused their resignation. So as I said, what was really pushing me to walk away was, I couldn't really imagine coming to be saluting my mates, or even some of my juniors too, who would have become my mates. So when I look back, I just laughed at my childishness. I was naive about life. So today, some of my mates are major generals, some are brigadiers. I'm in touch with a lot of them.
Yeah, many times I see you with them.
Yeah. So I just look back and say, wow, if I hadn't walked away, probably there'd have been a colonel by now, at the least, if not a brigadier. So these are some regrets. I miss the military life. Very regimented. You, even after graduation, you go on courses. You go to staff college.
It's adventurous.
It's adventurous. It's capacity building. So I miss that a lot. I miss that a lot.
And truly, if Dad was alive, maybe that he wouldn't allow you to do that.
Funny enough, when I look back, I sometimes ask myself, if my dad was alive, would I have even gone to military school? Because at some point, my elder brother was giving him a tough time, So him being a disciplinarian was making sure he was on his case to make sure he remains straight and focused. So out of annoyance, my dad said, in fact, I'm going to send you to military school. My dad was a colonel at this time.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you to military
as
school.
Punishment.
As punishment, so that you will go and... so I said, okay, if going to military school was my dad's way of banishing somebody to the island of Patmos, like John the Beloved, I said, would he allow this his favorite child to go to military school? Or maybe I would have heard about military school, and then maybe out of insistence I would have lobbied him to allow me go. So I really, based on that statement, I sometimes really wonder whether I would have even gone to military school if he was alive. I think he had different ideas. Maybe he would want us to be some scholars or some intellectuals somewhere in some other places. I don't know what his ideas were. I was still in primary 4 when he died. So at the point of maybe going to secondary school and becoming in fact, my elder brother was in Form 1 when my dad passed on, and it was a command school. It wasn't a military school, it was a school owned by the army. Command secondary school, I think Jos. So as a colonel, his son went to a command school and not military school. So I don't know whether that would have applied to me. Maybe I would have also gone to a command school. Our primary schools were army schools. So the secondary school too was an army one. But whether the military flagship school would have been his choice for me in my own time of going to Form 1, I can't really tell what would have played out. But taking his statement out of annoyance that I will send you to military school as a way of punishment, I don't know
if you would have been
whether I would have been in military school,
Yeah, it's been awesome hearing your story. So I want to ask you, what lessons have you learned in life? Maybe a few, maybe 2 or 3 that you could share with us, that you've learned from living life. There are lessons that we learn from books, we learn from other people, but then there are lessons we learn from just living our lives.
Yeah, from lessons I've learned, I've learned that you are what you are by the grace of God.
You are what you are by the grace of God.
You are not excelling because you're the most intelligent. There are people who are more intelligent than you.
Right.
Who are envying your position, who are envying where you are.
Right.
And even where you are, there are people who you are more intelligent than, whom you can't even access where they are now.
Right.
So whatever we are is by the grace of God. Whatever position we find ourselves, despite the fact that we would have made effort to make progress and achieve whatever we achieve, by and by, it wasn't just about your effort. It was just about God's grace, just about God's mercy.
Yeah.
So basically, that's my takeaway. And I've also learned too that as life progresses, people change.
People change
as life progresses. Some of my best of friends while growing up, today, some are celebrities. Some have done well for themselves, as we would say.
Humanly speaking.
Humanly speaking. And then you begin to wonder when you interact with them, is this my same pal? Or somebody has reincarnated and is a different person? Because the person seems to have lost touch of the fact that you guys were just best of friends. And even as life progresses and happens, there are people whom you can never, ignore, even if you become the president.
Right.
There are some people you just can't ignore, going by the experiences you've gone through
with them.
But I've observed that as life progresses, some people are attain new heights and levels, status and class, and suddenly people who are having their back covered, they even seem to be ashamed of the person, considering their newfound associates, you know.
Wow.
So I learned that life can be like that. So for me, I've been helped by God to be very deliberate that no matter whatever progress I make, no matter opportunities I have, I will endeavor to remember my little beginnings, that I began from somewhere, and then I began with people. And as I see them, I respect them, I honor them. I realize that I've done better than them because God has just privileged me to be better than them. So I don't take anybody for granted. So no matter what I achieve in life,
Don't take anyone for granted.
especially people you began with at the same level. There's some people I went to the bank. I went to the bank a couple of days back. And as I was entering the bank, I saw somebody who was a gate man. You know, he recognized me, but I didn't recognize him immediately. But as he continued to approach me, I now realized that, oh, this somebody that has been my acquaintance. But here he is in security uniform. And here am I looking like one businessman entering bank to do big business. I had to like leave my tracks and go to him, shake him, give him attention, hear him out, and appreciate the fact that, oh, this guy is somebody that has been my person, and listen to his story. If there's any way I can be of help,
Wonderful.
fine and good. If it's just to say, oh, good to see you here, I hope we'll meet again. But others will just be ashamed to even want to be
Associate
seen.
with.
And then I say, it could have been me. I could have been the one in that uniform as a gate man at the bank. I could have been that person. But I parked my car here, entering to do big transactions. It's the grace of God. So I always ask God to help me, let me not lose sight of this fact. So it really pains me, you know, when you see some people who are your main guys, God has helped.
And then they seem to sideline you.
So they not even sideline, suddenly seem to have no memory of the fact that there was a process.
Right.
So I just say, well, life happens like that. Some people feel it's okay, but to me, I feel no. God should help me. Let me not see that as okay. No matter what God does for me, no matter how God helps me to achieve, let me remember my days of little beginnings, and that there were people who were there those days,
Right.
and reflect that in my interactions and conversations.
Wow. So, there is this thing I wonder about a lot, you know, and since it's your life story, I would like to ask you this question.
Okay.
You know, there are things you do, and if you had known better, you will not do them. So, what is that one thing that you did that you wouldn't do if you had known what you know now? Maybe someone is about to do that same thing, and just by you saying it out will save a life. What is that one thing?
Wow. Okay.
It could also be, you know, someone said that every coin has two sides, right? It could also be something you failed to do that if you had known what you know now, you would have gladly, you know, have done it.
Well, frankly, I can't think of any. I can't think of anything outstanding in that regard. Really, I can't think of anything outstanding in that regard that I failed to do.
Or that you did that you shouldn't have.
I can't. I think God has, apart from walking away from the military career, I can't remember.
Of which, to me, looking at you, it doesn't seem to affect you so much.
Yeah. No, God has been faithful to me. You know, I'm happy. I'm happier than many generals. I'm happier than many generals. I'm more fulfilled. It's not about, but you know, something you tasted and you know the taste.
Yeah.
Those who are generals who didn't go through the taste of the path I've chosen won't know the difference, but I know the difference. And the military life, the discipline, the regimentation, the timeliness. I work in the civil service, and sometimes when I see behavior in the civil service, I just said, "Wow, this can't."
It irritates you.
This can't just happen in the military. So that regimentation, I miss it.
Yeah.
It's just to that extent. But with regards fulfillment, with regards happiness, I'm a happier man than many, you know. So it's just the fact that I got used to a military life. I got used to it and I loved it. So now I'm having to chart a career outside the military. I tend to miss
that part.
That part.
Now,
it's just to that extent.
Yeah, you said something that is, to me, is very big. You said that you made that decision because there was no father figure or there was no mentor figure.
No strong influential figure in my life.
I want us to round up.
Okay.
But as we are rounding up, I know there are people right now that are at the age of making decisions that don't have strong father figure or mentor or mentors that way tell them don't do this or go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's an important decision, just like you leaving the army, because I believe that was very important. It somehow changed the course of your life.
Completely.
Yes. Yeah, and if not for the grace of God, you know, it would have been worse. If not for the grace of God, it would have been worse. So there are people now watching, and maybe they are at that place where, you know, they want to take a turn.
Yeah.
And they are wondering, should I not? What if? What do you have to tell them? What practical advice do you have to tell them as we round?
Yeah, you know, there's a saying that experience is the best teacher, right? You heard of that saying.
Is that saying true?
Yes, it is to an extent.
To what extent?
Experience is the best teacher, but the most important aspect is what you do with the experience.
Yeah, okay. Let me even quote you there. Do you know that is against the scripture?
Really?
Yes.
Talk to me.
I should?
Yeah.
I thought you were the one to talk to me.
Yeah. No. Because I seem to be in doubt that's against the scripture.
Because the Bible says that a wise man foreseeth evil. And I don't know word for word, but passes by.
Yes.
You know? So it's as though a wise man does not even go into the experience. It's foolishness that pushes us into experiencing what is not palatable.
No, when you say
many times when people say experience is the best teacher, I'm like, you're making a god.
It's relative.
You're making a god out of something that could be avoided.
No,
you know, we could learn from books.
No.
We could learn from a distance.
When you say experience is the best teacher,
yeah.
It's not caste. It's not a caste.
Okay.
I
think you've gotten my Bible analogy, right?
Yeah. I get your point, but my saying experience best teacher, it's not really on that note.
Okay.
Experience the best teacher. For example, you're not married.
Yeah.
And you're a married counselor. By the time you get married, and you've been married for maybe 20 years, and you are still a married counselor, the married counselor who is now married for 20 years, and the one who wasn't married, is the same you, but you are a more experienced counselor. Because you wear the shoe, you know where it pinch. You didn't go into the experience out of error, but out of due process. So when I say experience the best teacher in this case, it's a legitimate process you went through
okay.
that gave you hindsight. that puts you in a position to know, oh, look, I've gone this road. There are potholes here. I traveled it at some point. Not out of rebellion, not out of, you know, not out of rebellion. It was a legitimate process I went through.
Yes.
And I've gone through it. So what I know, I tell you, I'm talking from experience. Legitimate process. So when I say experience is the best teacher, it's in that light I'm talking about. So in this case, you're talking about somebody who is at a crossroad, needs to take a decision. Now, for me, really, if I had known the Lord as much as I knew the Lord now,
yeah.
there are some decisions, for example, like this army thing,
Yes.
leaving the army thing. If I had known the Lord to the level I know the Lord now,
No.
I probably would have sought the Lord.
You didn't even pray.
I won't have been reactionary. I was being influenced by my environment, by
Your temperament.
by my expectations. I was being influenced by that. But the me of today would have said, okay, this is where we are. Lord, where am I in all this? And what's your agenda in all this for me? What's my calling? What's my route? Am I to walk away, or am I to... I would have gone seeking the Lord. I would have gone seeking the Lord. And when you seek the Lord, you find Him.
Wow.
The Lord says that you will
That's
seek
profound.
me and find me when you seek for me with all your heart. Some people just go seek the Lord casually. You don't seek the Lord casually.
Because it's one of the things that I have to do.
Seeking the Lord is not it's not a walk in the park. Seeking the Lord is seeking the Lord. When something is lost and you are checking out for it, and you know it does exist, you check it out till you find it. So I would normally now I would have gone to the Lord to seek the Lord, and at that point the Lord might have said, "Don't walk away, stay on."
This is what I will have.
He might not tell you what he will have. He might. Sometimes the Lord doesn't tell you everything. The Lord might just show you the door. He might not tell you
What's inside.
What's
You
inside.
just say enter.
You just say enter. You know, and then when you enter, you say, "Okay, Lord, you've entered. So what next? Am I taking left or right?" Sometimes the Lord might have said, "Enter and take right," or He might just say, "Enter." So as you enter or as you follow, the more you are obedient and following Him, the more He will be taking you and ushering you into the next phase or another direction. So for me, really, anybody in this time and age we're living in, knowing the Lord is a game changer. Knowing the Lord is crucial. Knowing the Lord can save you a lot of aches, and knowing Him strongly and deeply. So if you are, I'll give an example. I was to marry, and I had to invite the Lord to help me. At this point, shortly before I got married, I had related with up to 3 ladies in almost quick succession. Because when I knew it was time, I became deliberate to search. The Lord said, "Whoever finds a wife finds a good thing." So I began to search. I began to find, and then I get appealed to this person. I draw near, toast the person agrees, we begin to acquaint ourselves, and in the process I'm seeking the Lord, and it's aborted. No reason.
Just like that.
Just like that, you know that as you're seeking the Lord is just knocking some things out. In fact, if you had sought the Lord strongly enough, you would not even have attempted any of them. So the degree and depth of knowing the Lord, it saves a lot of things. I said I had to relate to about 3 different sisters.
Yes.
But there's a degree of the Lord you know that perhaps you wouldn't have even gone near those 3 sisters in the first place.
Yeah, you would just...
You just know that this is just not it. But, you know, we are in the flesh. The eyes see things appealing, and you are inclined to it. And you go near, like Moses was drawn near to the bush that was burning but not consumed.
Right.
You know. So, when you know the Lord, there are some avoidable efforts you don't even just waste. So for those people, seek the Lord, know
Seek
the
the
Lord,
Lord.
know the Lord, because the Lord speaks, the Lord directs. The Lord says, "I am the Lord your God that teacheth you to profit, that leads you in the way you should go." So even in the area of marriage, the Lord taught me to profit, and I made a perfect choice. That if you had to turn the clock back,
You will
I
still.
will still go there. So even
Will you still marry your wife if you get to heaven and there's
definitely,
opportunity?
definitely.
Really?
If of course there's no marriage in heaven, but if
If
that
there
was
is,
it,
okay.
so
Wow.
that makes a whole lot of difference. It makes a whole lot of difference. When you seek the Lord directs, the Lord instructs, the Lord teaches you to profit and leads you in the way you should go in every area of life, in marriage, in business, in everything. So when you know the Lord, you can't miss it.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you are patient with the Lord, if you decrease and ask the Lord to increase,
Increase.
you can't
Word.
miss it.
Well, that's
But if you want to
that's
help the
profound.
Lord, you can be making some mistakes here and there. The Lord will say, "Well, I didn't tell you and I didn't send you." So next time you listen very well and wait till you hear. So like Elijah praying for rain, he said, "Go check." First, nothing. Second time, nothing. The seventh time, he said he saw the hand of a cloud like hand of man. So when you are patient and long enough seeking the Lord, you will see the hand of divine direction. You will see the hand of divine instructions on what to do and what not to do, on where to go and where not to go.
Wow. I think that's a very big word for everyone listening. Many times when we get to, I think it's crossroad, they call it, right?
Yeah.
When you get to that junction, you don't know what to do. Then sometimes that's when you jump into making
Mistakes.
deciding on things that you should not even there. So what you should do when you get there is to seek the Lord. In fact, it's like if you even go to the Lord in the first place, you might not even get to that point. But let's assume that you didn't and you're there right now. Seek the Lord. Seek the Lord.
And seek people who are fatherly figures, people who know the Lord, people who have
Yes.
been around the Lord a long time. I
Right.
talked about experience being the best teacher. So there are people who have been very experienced with God over a long time.
Yes.
They are fathers of faith. They are tested in the move of God, and they sometimes even make your understanding God faster. They sometimes fast track your coming on to speed, to knowing God and knowing His way better. So if you are strong enough to seek the Lord for yourself, fine. But if you need to engage fatherly, godly figures who are obviously, by every standard, advanced in the things of God, going by how long they've been with God, and their proofs, their testimony that glorifies God consistently, you could want to confide in them, to help you just, confirm or help,
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for using your true life story to inspire us.
Thank you.
I know that when you tell your story, some people will mock, some people will be blessed, and some people will be inspired.
Yeah.
But most of it, you'll be free. If you are able to tell your story, it simply means you're a free man.
Yes.
So, sir, today you're a free man. And you've been a free man, bro. Officially, I've freed you.
Thank you.
You're a free man. And
My
thank you
pleasure.
very much. I know that you're blessed by that story. And if you're within Makodi, I don't know if we're able to host people outside of Makodi, but if you're within Makodi and you have a story that you believe, and I believe your story can touch someone, can change somebody's life, you can also reach out to us in the comment section. I would like to have a discussion with you. There are classic reasons why you should share your story, because When you share your story, then you will inspire other people to do better. You will encourage people, and then people will also be praying with you. People will be partnering with you. And let's say you have a devastating story and you share with other people, they can even know ways they can be of help to you. So your story is unique. And as you'll be following this channel, you will see that every story will be unique. His story today is so unique. I've not stayed long in a military home. I don't know what it means to grow up in a military home, and just imagine leaving the military. I've been with him for a long time, but I mean, it never came up. So, but today I could imagine. I don't think if I was in the military, I would leave. I don't think so. But with all of that, we can see that God is still helping him. So leave a comment, and then we want to hear from you. We want to know how we can be a blessing to you. Thank you very much for staying with us till the end. This is True Life Stories with Moses Nyiku.